Despite recent events, I have something to say that might shock you. I love Calvinists. Now, yes, I know I just published and released a book where I attack one of their 5 favorite doctrines, limited atonement. I'm trying to show that Jesus Christ came and died for the whole world using the Bible and church history. And so I have a profound disagreement with Calvinists, those people who say their beliefs go back to a man named John Calvin, one of which is limited atonement, meaning that Jesus died for a pre-selected group of people. I disagree with that, but I don't hate the people who believe it. Just because someone teaches a certain variety of predestination or once saved, always saved or limited atonement, that doesn't mean I hate them or I'm not even angry at them. I just want them to understand my beliefs and that there are biblical reasons to believe what I believe and other reasons too, but primarily Bible reasons. So even though I've written a book against what I consider to be Tulip's weakest petal, that being the L, limited atonement, it's an acrostic acronym. If you need to look it up, you can. That being said, I want to give credit where credit is due, and so I figured I'd rank some of my favorite Reformed theologians, and not necessarily of all time, just thinking of guys who are alive now or have been popular recently and at least were formative for me as I was looking on the internet all these years and digging into the theological resources I could get. So without further ado, let's rank some Reformed theologians. Coming in at number 10, I've got Sinclair Ferguson. Now, Sinclair Ferguson is a Scotsman, and you might recognize him from Ligonier Ministries, which is R.C. Sproul's group of theologians. They're mostly Presbyterian, but you've got some other views in there. And Sinclair is great. He's got a really recognizable voice. He's a great public speaker. He can kind of run through the variety of emotions as much as a Presbyterian can. And he has a really great sermon on the work of the Holy Spirit based out of Romans 8 and a book that I've heard a lot about and I've read portions of called The Whole Christ. So it's actually on my to be read on Goodreads, and I'd really like to get into that. I have so much respect for Sinclair. Number 9, I've got Todd Friel. Now, Todd Friel, he can be a little obnoxious. He is a radio host. That's kind of his job. He's a Baptist pastor now, I believe, in an independent church. But I used to listen to him very regularly 5-8 years ago. And what I most respect about Todd is he does on-the-street witnessing. He goes and he finds people on college campuses and other public venues, and he takes them through the 10 Commandments, and he shows them that they're a sinner, and then he gives them the comfort of the gospel, and he tells people, like, you can be forgiven. And so whether or not I think Todd's theology lines up with that, I do respect that he goes and does that. He talks in venues that I would never. So I have a lot of respect for Todd. I think he's very charitable and respectful and a good apologist and good talking to people on the street. But I think sometimes he probably gets a bad rap just because of his personality, but I like him. At number 8, I have Scotty Smith. He is another Presbyterian pastor based out of Franklin, Tennessee. And what I most like about his ministry is he's had some amazing conference speeches that you can find on YouTube. He's also got great books on the Psalms and Revelation. And he posts pretty regularly on Facebook just some encouraging messages and posts and scriptural insights. So I really appreciate Scotty Smith. Next up is Jon Moffitt. He has a ministry on YouTube called Theocast. He's a pastor in a Reformed Baptist church. I know lately he's kind of got onto these topics that are really niche, and I'm not interested in those. But I know he has a lot of good teaching on assurance, and every once in a while you'll find a really helpful video that him and his team have put together, and I respect what he's doing, and I agree with him on so many things. But that being said, we do have some big differences, but I can respect him and love him and recommend a lot of what he does. Number 6 is Gavin Ortlund. He is really famous for being an apologist, especially for Protestant ideas. He does great dialogue with people of different traditions within Christianity. I think he is the most charitable Christian YouTuber that I can think of. He just does tremendous work, books, articles, audio, video, everything you can imagine. He's a class act. There's really nothing bad to say about him. I've loved and enjoyed his content for several years, but more so recently, just with a few projects I have in the works. Number 5, my only woman on the list, her name is Elyse Fitzpatrick. She is an amazing author and conference speaker. I encourage you to look up her talks. She's got so many books on motherhood, parenting, different biblical topics, and I know she went to a Reformed seminary, and her son is a Reformed pastor, so I know she's in the Reformed camp, although she's not considered like a giant Reformed theologian of the day. She's still one of my favorites. I love to hear her speak, and her writing is phenomenal. Number 4 is Tullian Tchividjian. He was a really famous Presbyterian pastor about 15 years ago. He completely wrecked his life with personal sin that went public, and rightly so. I mean, he suffered the consequences. His ministry, his career completely came crashing to the ground. That being said, I think he has a lot of resources that I still value. He is very open and honest about his sin, and he's raw and real, and I respect that. And he doesn't hold back about talking about grace and this very one-way love that he doesn't preach in a way as if you need to hold on to Jesus and you're blah blah blah. It's telling you how good God is, which I think is missing in a lot of churches, both Calvinist and not. So I'm a big fan of Tullian, and so he makes the list. Cracking the top 3, I have Jared C. Wilson. He's my favorite Baptist by far. He's got so many great books. It's like he does a book every year, maybe 2. He's got great sermons online and great conference speeches. So I just love him. He's a fun-loving guy. He's humorous. He's relatable. He speaks in a way that's easy to understand, and a lot of good resources from him. Number 2, I have Michael Horton, Dr. Michael Horton. He is best known for being the co-host of a show called The White Horse Inn. It's been running since the 1990s on radio. It's a podcast today. He's a professor at a seminary. He's done so many books and articles and videos and audio and all that kind of thing. I loved his stuff because he worked with a man named Rod Rosenblatt, who was very influential on me. And he's just very sensible, very charitable. His whole show, the premise was, we're going to have a Reformed guy, a Baptist guy, and a Lutheran guy, and we're all going to hold to our convictions, but we're going to find where they overlap. And where they always overlapped was on things related to Christ and what he does for us in the gospel. So I always appreciated that about Michael Horton. And number 1, I have to put Steve Brown. He's a radio host, a former Presbyterian pastor, and he just has this great, deep, booming voice, and his books are so relatable, and his conference speeches are amazing. And so I've learned a lot from Steve, listened to him for many hours. I think he's the most relatable guy on this list. He's so funny too, but so smart, and he's done it all and seen it all and said it all and heard it all. And so I really value his ministry. So I just wanted to put this list together to show you that even when you have profound disagreements with people about these issues pertaining to the Bible, that doesn't mean you hate them. That doesn't mean you think they're heretic. That doesn't mean you think they're outside of Christianity. It doesn't mean you think anything about them other than that they're wrong on an issue. That's it. I'm really passionate that I believe Jesus died for every sinner. That's why I wrote this book. These men don't agree with me on that, and that's fine. I would welcome the opportunity to try to convince them otherwise, but it might not work. So I think we can agree to disagree and still support each other in different ways and recommend each other and learn from each other. And that's really what I want to be all about. I definitely don't want to be known as the guy who's always dogging on Calvinists. So whatever I write next, it'll probably be very favorable to some of these guys. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, and let me know who your favorite Calvinist is in the comments below.